all you backyard explorers. Mr. T here again on another beautiful day to be outside. Hopefully you're finding some time to get into your own backyard and get healthy. Now, today what we're going to be taking a look at is what you see behind me in this area. These big giant puddles that we call vernal pools. Now, vernal pools are really vernal. What it means is spring, and pool, of course, well, that's a pool. It's full of water. So a vernal pool is a springtime pool. And the way that they happen is that all that melted snow into ice and the rain that comes in the spring flows into the low areas, these little basins we call them, kind of like a bowl, to fill up with water. Now, they're not very deep. They're usually only a few inches to a foot deep or so. And they do dry up eventually in the summertime when there's less rain and less water, and it all evaporates out, goes up into the clouds. Now, the great thing about these pools, though, in the middle of the forest, is that there are some animals, amphibians mainly, that use these, have adapted to them to be able to lay their eggs and to be able to reproduce in just these areas. They now need these kinds of pools only to survive. These are animals like yellow-spotted salamanders, wood frogs, and some others that we'll take a look at. Now, the first ones to come out are typically the yellow-spotted salamanders and the wood frogs. They'll come out in the evening usually when it's above 45 degrees and raining, and they'll come out of their hibernation areas when the ground is thawed, and they will head down to these pools and lay these big masses of jelly-like little balls, these eggs that they have there. Now, the reason they're putting them in these pools is, well, there's a real advantage to this. The advantage is that there's no predators, there's no fish, there's no bullfrogs to eat all the eggs like in some other deeper waters. The disadvantage to this, and you're probably thinking about Mr. T, why would you lay them in a puddle, is that they could dry up before those tadpoles are able to turn into adults. So hopefully it's a nice wet season and the pools stay deep enough, long enough that these eggs are able to turn into tadpoles, which will turn into frogs and salamanders and all these wonderful creatures of the forest. So we're going to hope that there's some in there. I think there is, because as I was walking down, I heard that telltale call of the wood frog. Sort of rah, rah. Not very good at it, but I'll play some for you later. All right, let's go take a look. All right, so I've moved to another spot by another vernal pool that I've sort of snuck up on. I'm behind a tree right now. It's over that way. And I'm hoping that the microphone is picking up the calling of this one wood frog out there saying, "Here I am, here I am. Here's some eggs, here's some eggs." Let's listen. Okay, great news. We've got some. We found them. Right behind this dead woodpecker tree right here. By the way, we'll do another thing on just how important these dead trees are for the forest and for the wildlife here. But just behind them, you might be able to sort of see where I'm circling over here, sort of a massive, just looks like stuff right now. We're going to get a closer look, but what we have here, wood frog eggs and maybe some yellow-spotted salamander eggs. So let's get a closer look. Okay, we're down here by the water, and I've managed not to fall in for a change, so that's kind of nice. Kind of like my socks the way they are. That being said, I'm going to flip you around and try to get you guys nice and close. Some of the eggs are actually hatching and have teeny little tiny tadpoles in them. So let's flip you guys around and get a good look. Okay, so we've got our guys here in different stages of development. Hopefully I don't lose the camera and microphone into the water, but I want to make sure I get you guys nice and close. And I'm going to sort of pan over slowly so you can see them. And those you can really see over here. These guys are developing beautifully under the water. And we've got some more over here. Oh, and some more developing right there. And I'll pull back so you can see just how many we're talking about here. They love to lay them in these clusters. My guess is so that there's a better chance of them all getting fertilized by the males, since this all sort of happens in the water. Wow, look at all of them. I mean, that's incredible. Can't wait till they turn into little frogs. Okay, so we're back up in the barn here, and we're going to be making ourselves a parabolic microphone to use with our smartphone so that we can go out and listen to some frogs. Now, some people ask me, by the way, about my table. It's actually an old barn door, in case you were wondering, that I mounted as a table up here. Now, we're going to take an old salad bowl. Don't tell Mrs. T. But it's not one that I think anyone really cares about. It's a cheap old thing, and we don't have the lid for it anyway. So you probably have something this shape lying around the house. Basically, you just want something with a nice curve that's going to funnel the sound into your microphone. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take one of these, which is what a suction cup cell phone holder, smartphone holder, that goes onto the windshield of the car. Some of you may have one of these, makes it nice and easy. You may have another way to mount a phone that's even more creative. Please send it in if you have a good one so that we can tell other people your ideas. So what I'll do is I just would stick that onto there, get it in there, clip it on. And I will mount the cell phone in here we have a nice little microphone that plugs into the cell phone itself. And so the cell phone will actually be in here with all the sound being reflected back out to the microphone. So hopefully we'll be able to direct where we're listening and hear those frogs specifically. Now I could just hold it like this and go out there, but you know, what fun would that be? I'd like to be a bit more hands-free and use one hand, or could do this too, I guess, but I think what I'd like to do is I don't want my hands inside of here. I want something on the outside. So I'm going to put a handle on this guy right here. And the handle that I'm going to use is actually, well, since we're listening, I figured what better to use than an old telephone, really old telephone. So I think I'm going to try gluing this on here and we'll see how it works. Now, I was a little bit nervous that we might melt the plastic, but I think we might actually be okay. There we go. We'll go out there and see if we can't hear some frogs calling. Okay, so we're up on our rock. We've got our handy-dandy parabolic microphone. There's the telephone you can see holding it together. There's our car windshield cell phone holder stuck in there. We do have this neat little microphone that we attach to the cell phone here, and then just hit record. See what we can hear going on out there. Now that you know who to listen for and how to listen for them, consider getting involved in this terrific citizen science project called Frogwatch USA. They've got free learning on the internet, and you can even do it from your backyard or in a pond or wetland or open space that's nearby you, and it can be done safely. So consider getting involved. Thanks.